Thank you so much, Marcia, for coming to our studio.
It's a pleasure.
Good afternoon, Marcia. You look fabulous today.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to see you here again.
I'm happy to be here, sharing, the experience of being a woman in this world, having come this far from A to Z, I would say. Not yet Z,
Not
but
yet.
it's going to be. I
You
think
don't
we
wanna-
are.
you don't want to
approaching.
end it on the last letter. You still.
No,
maybe-
but
in the
we're
middle.
coming along.
yeah, you're
it's not-
coming
yeah,
along.
yeah.
Yes.
We met Miss Turnier at the Phoenix Club meeting,
Mhm.
and she was sharing some music
Yeah.
with the group.
Yeah.
And she says music is the soul, the
I think so.
medicine of
Yeah,
the
of
soul.
the soul, definitely. I remember as a kid, my father played the violin. We woke up every morning, Sunday morning specifically, with the violin playing in the house. He really shared a lot of intellect with us, giving me all the wonderful French classics, Camus, Voltaire. I'm reading Alexandre Dumas right now. What a
Yes.
beautiful, the French language is to be appreciated.
It's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
I never
You're-
learned it, but
It's
beautiful. It
beautiful.
sounds
It's
like a
very
beautiful language.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has
Your
a lot of.
first language.
That's my first language. Yeah. In Haiti, the official language was French, but it's been changed to Creole. But it's also a very a language that is with a lot of pictures. You imagine a lot of things when
It's
this
very
music-
imaginative.
Very
Wow.
imaginative. Yeah. Yeah. It has a lot of turns and.
And you came to New York when you were 12.
Yeah, I was a teenager when I came. My parents were exiled, and it's been a beautiful world. I say
see.
the world is what you make it. You have to
Mm-hmm.
elevate. So the
Right.
experiences for everyone is different, but I think when you have to have a philosophy for living, which I personally do. I see the beauty in everything, and
That's great.
and I understand. And I say people come from where they've been. So when they meet me, I want to share the beauty of the world.
But you also exude that beauty when you
Yes.
come into your when you're meeting people.
Oh, thank you.
I think I read. I didn't get the exact quote. You bring like your smile radiates the room,
Oh,
and
yes.
people
you.
wanna get to know you better.
I want to get to
That's
know them
true.
too. I
Yeah.
think that's the way it should
You
be.
walked into the room and it was lit up. the
Oh,
room.
that's beautiful.
lit up
I
the
try to
room.
bring the sunshine. I don't like the cloud.
That must have been hard for you to adjust to this
Yeah, there was an
country,
adjustment when I came to America because I came from a family of professionals. Everyone is a doctor, a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you change culture, people can tend to classify you. Like I
Right.
said, I didn't know I had a color until I came to America, but I also understand people come from where they've been. So you have to share the experience of being human with them.
Right.
And then we can connect on certain
There's
level.
immigrants in the United
Yeah,
States.
yeah, yeah.
Lots of immigrants
And
from
then
various
that's the
backgrounds,
beauty of it
which
also.
makes it a great melting pot.
Mhm. And I have to say that life is beautiful. I have a motto, La vie est belle, life is beautiful.
Yes.
And I always like to elevate. I exchange, experience. It's
I
nice talking
see.
to people. I don't mind, sharing what it is.
And people are encouraging you to take a profession of modeling.
Yeah, I was supposed to be a journalist, and that's what I wanted. But my parents didn't think that it was a profession that was elevated enough. So, but everyone told me that I met as I was growing up. I was a
Right.
teenager, 16, 14. They were like, "Oh, you're a model," and I was in school, Queen's College, and I really wasn't really interested in school because that wasn't.
That wasn't exciting you.
It wasn't exciting. So
At that
finally,
time.
one day, I remember it was raining. And then you have to take initiative for yourself, And I don't know. I just dialed the agency, the Wilhelmina agency, because I had a French accent. I have a feeling that's how the door was open. I went. They booked me on the spot, and 2-3 months later, I was on the cover of Glamour magazine, and I had a
Yeah,
career.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the one you shared with us?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And it's like I had 8 good years in the business. I met, I lived on top of the world. And Salvador Dali, I had audience with him and his apartments in Paris.
You traveled the world.
Traveled the
Wow.
world. And it's such a small world because I had done a job. I was a representative of Lux Soap in South Africa, the first black face on television in South Africa
In
because
what-
at the time
what year?
it was apartheid in the late 70s, early 80s.
I saw a little bit of that video.
Yeah, if you Google my name, you'll see it
Yeah,
There's
somewhere.
a video of her, and it was kind of choppy, but it was nice.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
It was a
thing,
beautiful
yeah.
video, yeah.
But to show you how we must behave ourselves in this world, I was at the beach in Jamaica one day, and we are looking at each other, this woman, and then we're trying to figure out where we know each other. Come to find out, this woman was a makeup artist on the set that I worked in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And we are at the beach in
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
That's
Wow.
two opposites.
That's
Yeah.
amazing how you meet
You
people.
recognized each other.
She recognized me because we were looking at each other, wondering where do we know each other. And something like that happened to me recently this week. I was crossing 72nd and Park, and I took some papers to my landlord, and then I had to go back to the landlord, and then I was walking down 72nd Street. This woman passed me by.
Okay.
Then she walked back and said, "Aren't you?" I was like, "Oh my God." It was 40 years ago. I used to be a retail manager at the Elizabeth Arden Salon. She was
yes,
a
yes.
client. So you can run, but you can hide.
Oh, she remembered you.
She was a client. She was like, "Oh my God, I remember how you put sunshine in the room." That's the way I want to live. I want to live on top. You
That's
know?
how
And
you
I excuse
remembered.
people's behavior because if you don't know love, you cannot give it. So
Yeah, you exude. You want the positivity and the goodness,
Yeah.
and that way you present it first, and then people just generate that
I
from
think,
them.
yeah, it's best to do that.
So
It just flows.
you
Yeah.
can pick one thing that you want to be remembered. What would that be?
Well, I don't know that I don't know. I want to bring joy, and that's what it's all about, you know? It's always something that we can work at. I look at the bright side of things, yeah.
So let me tell you, what do you love about New York City?
New York is a gem. There is no place like it. Only in New York. You can make anything that you can think of, you can make it happen. If you have the grit, the stamina, and the will, in New York, it will happen. If you have it's what it takes. You have to be able to take the punches and get up and keep on trucking.
So you were in the modeling industry and beauty industry.
Yeah.
That's very flashy, luxurious.
Yeah, very
And
luxurious.
how can you stay down to earth? You were
Well,
so
you know,
down to earth.
it's about recognizing that it's only a job, really. You have to go, and it's an opportunity that is not offered to everyone. So you are sharing whatever it is, the feeling or whatever.
I think that's a good.
It's like acting.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea you took it up as a job, like you're modeling
Yeah.
or just working
Yeah.
in the.
It was an
unless-
opportunity
right,
that's
in
not
the
given
different
to everyone.
in the different beauty salons when you were doing that. Just anything you do is just a job, so you don't get too.
Yeah. But I felt like, it was a real opportunity that's not given to everyone, So when they give, you give your best also. I give my best to anything that I do.
I admire your humbleness together with the beauty.
I think you just attract these opportunities. I think.
Yeah, I think so. You
I think
attract, yeah.
You don't
I
take it
think
granted.
you are open.
I am open.
You're open, and you look like that type of a person that, let's try her out. She might be just the
No,
right person.
Exactly. I always bring the most positive. You have a choice. There's the negative and the positive.
Right.
If I have, and I always take the positive side. Even sometimes people can be grouchy. A smile, a look, and I like to look into people's eyes. That can also change. But you can change the moment. You can change your life. And I think it's important to choose a side. Positive, negative, and I'm going on the positive.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
like that
al-
attitude. I like positivity. I
Yeah.
think it's
Always include people too.
Yes,
I noticed
exactly.
at the first meeting you were including everyone. I was just
Yeah,
stranger.
yeah. You want to hear from everybody because everyone has a story, and because, like I told you, as a model, I used to know beautiful women and covers on the stand, and they were jumping out of windows. They didn't live to see those covers. And I always wondered what would make someone, be so, the soul being so sick that you cannot want to live,
I don't
and-
think they have a very good foundation
Yeah,
or
the yeah.
morals, and those are things that your family,
Yeah.
Your
It comes
family-
from, yeah.
as a child.
But I was always shocked when I knew that these people were covers on the sand, and you heard that they jumped out of the window that morning. I was like,
They think
thank you,
that's
Lord.
the end of the world instead
Wow.
of thinking.
Yeah.
Well, they
Plus,
just-
you know, when you live in a world that is not clear, you know, the drugs and the things that can
Yeah.
tempt, the devilish things.
Because
that
a lot of
do.
people they live in an illusion.
Illusion.
They're an illusion, and
Yeah.
Marcia doesn't live like that. She
Yeah.
lives a very, she opens, her eyes are open, she sees the pros and cons, but of course go in a positive path.
Plus, this is an opportunity. It's like when they give you a job to do.
Yes.
You do the job to the best of your ability,
Right.
and you become successful at it, or you grow. But if you bring
Yes.
in, it's what you bring into the table. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
but
let
you
me-
kept the level-headedness.
Level-headed, and I saw the beauty and everything. Yeah.
Well, I see that you've traveled all over the world. What was the best place that you found that you loved that you traveled to?
Well, I have to tell you, I went to all the Caribbeans. You know, it's like heaven on earth. I went to South Africa, France, England. What else? I can, yeah. But I have to tell you that I recently, you know, because I'm retired now, and I treated myself to a month trip to Europe where I have a cousin who's also retired. She was an engineer, and she went back to school to become a chef. And she inherited, my uncle was a geologist, one of the first people that were leaving Haiti in the 1960s, 70s. And he went around the world discovering whatever treasures was in the ground. And he purchased a piece of land somewhere in Europe. It's called Saint-Gaudens. Saint-Gaudens is a little village outside of Toulouse. And where he situated, he built a house there. So I recently spent 3 weeks with my cousin. We went to Spain, you know, because in Europe you can drive all the way up the coast. I wanted to go to Biarritz. We went to Biarritz, Spain, and all that. But she has a villa there. That every room in the villa, you are looking at the Pyrenees. When I
Alps.
the Pyrenees, they call it. That's a translation for the Pyrenees.
Pyrenees Mountain.
The mountains,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Pyrenees mountain. But I wrote a poem, and it's in French. Maybe I'll translate it for you and then send
Thank
it.
you.
Sure, that'd
But
be great.
it was an inspiration, it was like out of body experience when you looked at the mountain and all the different phases.
The mountain was talking to you.
the mountain.
Yes.
Exactly, that's what I said in my poem. The way the
Oh,
mountain.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Right.
share that. I'm gonna have a
Yes.
translator for that. And when you
I didn't
read
even
it,
think
yeah.
that was it.
You
I just
wrote it
That's
in
mentioned
it.
French.
The mountain was
Was
talking
talking
to
to
me.
you.
And
Okay.
every room in the house, I never turned my back to the mountain. Every time I was somewhere in the house, I was looking at the mountain because I refused. It would be a
You don't want to
crime.
have your back to the mountain. You want
No.
to face the mountain.
And every time you see it, it was a different angle, a different light. It was beyond. It was a out of body
It's
experience.
amazing what nature can do for you.
Nature. I love nature. I admire the things that you also publish in your thing. All the things that New York is so beautiful. There's so much to see, to express. Yeah, a lot of art in this town also.
Thank you for watching that.
Oh yeah, of course, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love taking pictures of New York City.
Yeah, me too.
That's
when
what
I'm
we
looking
do.
up, and look, sometimes it's hard. Don't look up while you're walking because anything can happen.
Because even our banner eventually will probably change that to something wintry or holidays.
Seasonal. Yeah,
We,
we're having
we
fun.
decided, so I think we should change it seasonally.
Yeah. We're
No,
just
why
having
not? Because
fun.
there's so much beauty in New York. Now, what they did with the east side, the highway, where they did the elevated and made it a walk.
Oh, yes, the
that.
walkway, yeah.
That is even the west side, where
Yes.
you took the pictures that you did.
Yes.
Everything about New York is beautiful. It's really a gem. Yeah. It's a new gem because like in Europe, it's very antique, but in New York, the things are shiny. Yeah.
It's shiny and it's always evolving and it's always something new.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't, even the buildings come down and something else is built
Yeah, yeah,
and
for sure.
replace them.
It's just overwhelming to have all those pictures, and I can't catch up to publish. Because
I know. Yeah, even myself, everything I see in New York, I'm like, oh, I'm taking a picture of it. And it's like, what do
David
you do
showed
with
me
that?
to Long Island City for the first time this weekend.
Oh, yeah, there is something too there, that they built and
Yeah,
repaired.
there's the piers.
The piers at Long
There's the
Island City.
piers and they have the like a little beach for the kids.
Wow.
And I told her I was at one of the outdoor restaurants, and I took a picture, I think during the summer, and I have a big drink here, a cocktail, and I'm relaxing. And I told her, this is where I was at the table, and I'm looking at the Manhattan skyline.
Yeah,
She
it's
took me to
beyond.
the
Yeah.
exact spot.
And then it's almost like you don't have to be a rich person to feel rich in New York, because there's so much beauty around us. You
Yes.
have to, if you look, you'll find it. Yeah.
Because I love to be in nature.
Yeah.
So if you have advice to give to an 18-year-old self,
Yeah.
what would that be?
I would say take advantage of the people before you, what they tell you about life, and you can adjust or, tweak it for yourself. Because people have things to offer that have come before you, and so it doesn't hurt to listen and learn from others. Yeah.
Wow.
I like your attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seriously, yeah.
Because sometimes, you have to listen. Sometimes, I like that because
learn,
I use that word tweak a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to tweak a little bit here, there,
People have a
Yeah,
lot to
right.
offer. So if you open yourself to learning,
And you're learning.
Yeah.
Because even some of the guests we've had on here, I have learned so many things and things that I want to discover, and
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
because we
Sure.
both are into museums, and there's just things that we learn from the guests.
Yes.
Yeah.
The art,
And then,
the
enhance
photography.
Oh, so much.
enhance
Right.
our understanding. It's like they say, seniors should be broadening their knowledge and always learning new topics.
Oh yeah.
Right, something
yeah.
new.
There's something new. Yeah. Every day is an
E-
experience.
Even the
living.
peace activism. We interviewed Alice Slater, the peace activist,
Okay.
a few times, and I learned a lot from her too.
Does she
So-
also travel the world?
She went based
Yeah,
on,
I did read her story. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
what you did.
She's been she's been
Japan, China, Russia.
yeah.
a lot of stuff on the peace,
Peace
on
activism.
peace.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's very interesting.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, when you talk to people, you always learn something.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have one negative thing to ask you. What's your biggest failure, and what have you learned from it? If
My
that,
biggest failure. I can't think about a failure,
I mean, you can turn it around if you like.
but I'm trying to think about a failure because I feel like I've always stayed on the path of, elevating. Yeah. I don't know that there is a failure.
You probably, I think with you, if you see you're digressing, that you somehow compensate
Yeah.
and learn how to do it a different way.
Yeah.
Instead of, diving down like some people,
Yeah.
they go down to the bottom. You don't go there.
No.
If you see it,
There's a stage every time.
right, you know where you want to go, what level. If you're below this level, nah.
You
Not good.
have to progress. Like
Yeah,
after my modeling
We're
career,
not going there.
I got
Yeah.
a license in aesthetic. Then I became. I had so many tasks that I did. I was a
have
model.
a similar question, but
Yeah.
maybe it's hard to answer too.
Okay.
What would be an insult that somebody said, but that made you proud?
An insult? Oh, okay. Like when people insulted me because of my skin color. When
Oh.
you enter a room sometimes, like if I would visit a certain place building, automatically I would be put in the service elevator, which was beyond my understanding. I didn't even realize that I was in the service elevator until I was coming back down in the main elevator. But all these things, I always say, people come from where they've been. It's like, do you know who I am? You know what I mean? Yeah. But I excuse people's behaviors because they don't know any better. That's how I elevate and live a life of, if you don't know love, you can't give love.
If your enemy would write a book about you, what would be a title of the book?
Sometimes people think I'm too happy, why are you?
Too happy?
Yeah, they're like, oh, what's so good about it? I'm like,
You know,
yes.
to me, I've met people that claim they're very happy, and they're always laughing and very silly, and those
Yeah,
are really.
sometimes, yeah.
And then some of those people like the saddest,
Yeah,
and they're
yes,
very
it-
depressed.
comedians.
See,
they tend
you
to
don't
have
come
that.
across that way
No.
because yes, you smile, but you're not. Then you can be serious as well. If you want to you have something to say, you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, you are not feigning. You're
I'm not
making
funny.
up.
I
Yeah.
live, I mean, I have been hurt. Yeah. No, I elevate. I really try to take it to the next level.
You are.
And because it's like, I think it
Yeah.
had to do with my parents always. You have to kind of build somebody's esteem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
And,
have siblings. You have sister.
yeah, I have a
right?
sister and 2 brothers.
2 brothers.
Mhm.
See.
And I remember, and it's always good to do positive, talk positive to children, because when I was young, I was tall and thin, and the kids, when they used to tease me, one of my aunt told me, tell them that you are the pearl of the Caribbean, and they will see you on a screen. And I didn't even know that I was going to be a model. And all these kids today, they're not, it's like, yeah, you have to always reinforce positiveness. And human beings and children, yeah. You should never
It made
admonish.
it made an impression because you're wearing your pearls today.
Yeah, I have, the pearl, I wear a
Today's
lot
a
of pearls.
pearl
That's,
day.
Yeah, beautiful
I
pearl.
do pearls.
You just
yeah.
didn't know you were gonna be put on that level at a young age.
Yeah, I never forgot what my aunt told me. And then when I became a cover girl, and some of those kids that used to tease me, they had a different life, And I was on covers of magazine, on television, and so
So
you have to give positive affirmation, even to people. You give them love. You send, if they are not happy, you change their,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This question, our one of the guests gave it back to us and said, "That's not a good question, but let me try with
Okay,
you.
why not? I'm
Are
open.
you happier now compared with you when you're 20s or 30s?"
Yes, because
or
I understand life better. Yeah,
I see.
yeah. When I was young, sometimes you feel misunderstood. The world doesn't love you, like you didn't get the job that you wanted. But now, yes, I have figured it out, kind of thing. Yeah, I decide that it's going to be all up, not. Yeah, it's a choice that you make, and I'm gonna go on the positive side whenever possible, because you have thought, I have intellect. You use those things
Right.
that that are at your party. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Your morning routine, how is it like, like say today or any day?
Yeah, I pray. I thank God. I have a lot of affirmation. I pray God. I say thank you for all the goodness that you bring into my life, and give to those who do not have. Because and then I think breakfast is a very important part of the day. Even if you eat a banana, you're eating a banana and you have to fuel your body. And I believe that's one of the most important.
Get it going.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruits, banana, melon, yogurt, anything you do, you should adapt a morning routine where you are fueling the,
So you
Ready
will
to
not
go.
you will not be skipping breakfast anytime soon.
No. I believe that's what gets me going. Then, I don't have to go outside looking for food that are not healthy. And and then I love, now that I'm retired, I'm always have a date with a friend for happy hours.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. You have time to do that now.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
you don't have to worry, I have to be at work tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
happy hours, because sometimes most of the restaurants in New York, they will give you 2 for 1. A good,
Yes.
My favorite thing is onion soup, and creme brulee. All these wonderful things about New York, And I find this little niche, and when I talk to people like you, I learn a lot. Where to go, what to do. Yeah.
Do you have any this is not one of the questions, but do you have a favorite French restaurant in New York City that you know of?
Not really. No.
No.
But in my neighborhood, I live on the Upper East Side, so there
Yes.
is a lot of different things that are going on there.
When
I
there
go by
was
recommendation. Yeah.
Alain Ducasse,
Hmm?
there was this restaurant called Alain Ducasse
Mm-hmm.
in New York, and they closed.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how expensive the place was.
Mhm.
I was investigating for the guests from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and my boss took me,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't know how expensive the restaurant was.
Yeah.
When they brought the check,
Mm-hmm.
his eyes was like blank
Wow.
because he was paying out of his pocket
Oh, wow.
for the investigation.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a question that Debbie usually asks towards the end of the podcast, even though it's not ending yet.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask Debbie to ask.
Well, I have one other question before we ask that one. What do you think of what do you think is the advantage of aging? What is your misconception about aging?
Misconception, when you look, I try not to look back, because then you're looking at I mean, it's interesting, aging, the road that you have traveled. I'm looking at it as a journey. And I can't believe that I've come this far. And now I'm wondering about what's to be. That's what my question is. And that's why I'm involved in a lot of social activities. I like to talk to people, hear what they have to say, and I like to read. I read a lot. And you have to organize. Life is an organization. It's like, and like now I hoping to have a grandchild. Hopefully that will happen.
Oh, that would be
that
wonderful.
Would be, raising another citizen of the world. Yeah, and I am enjoying my sister's grandchildren who have 8 of them. So I take them to the museum. I open their world to whatever
You're
it is.
getting
that
lots of practice already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what you're passionate about?
I'm passionate about learning. I can't read enough books. I sometimes have multiple books that are on my desk, and I'm like, well, which one am I gonna? And then you get something out of.
So much time.
Yeah. Right now, I want to really learn this technology thing that's going on because I don't have the technology.
Oh, you have time to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm researching.
Like AI?
Well, that's further down the road.
She wants to start with the basics first.
The basic.
She wants to start from the basics,
Like,
and then
that's completely a new language,
Yeah, especially if you're not totally familiar with it.
Yeah, completely a new language.
Like Instagram.
Yeah, that
I'll
I don't have.
be your first follower.
Yeah, exactly. I need to do these things because I have a lot to offer, information that I want to share. Because having been a beauty consultant, there's a lot of tips, and I see these young girls doing those things. And I'd like to possibly have a page talking to ladies of our generation.
Yeah, I think that you would be good at that.
Yeah, I want that's one of the things that I have, and I'm making arrangements to go to the library where they have what they call where they offer that. I thought they would have offered it here, but
like workshop?
Workshop for computer classes. That's what I'm going to be immersing myself to
Oh,
learn,
that's
and hopefully
wonderful,
I can come
wonderful.
up with a page or something to share.
It's never
information
too
we
late
need.
to learn
Yeah,
anything.
definitely.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
And it's fun once you.
Yeah,
learn
you
it.
meet people, you get to, your brain is,
I think you're open to it, so and it's a challenge, and it's good.
it's interesting, I think. Technology is scary almost, what they are calling AI.
Yeah.
Look what they are doing.
Well, it's better that you're learning it now instead of waiting even 10 years,
Or-
in the future, because it'll be so complicated.
Yeah, you don't know. I don't even think I have 10 years, but that's okay.
It changes so rapidly.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite question is, please imagine that you are Maria Antoinette.
Mm-hmm.
The night before the execution by guillotine, the angels appeared and offered you the last meal.
Mm-hmm.
Any dish or food or drink, whatever you love, what would that be?
Well, I like a good paella.
Oh,
Yeah. A good paella with a nice tropical drink. I'll do that.
all right. What kind of tropical drink?
Something with rum. I like that.
Okay.
I cannot think right now, but a good
It sounds
paella
good,
with
yeah.
something to
Sounds
stimulate the taste bud.
Oh yes, that will definitely. The rum will stimulate this.
Appetite.
Oh yeah, and if you're having, I know the rum in the islands are totally different.
Yeah, and Haiti
Yeah.
is known for their rum. Rum barbecue. It was.
I think it's
very
made
well sought
differently.
after.
Just the whole,
Mhm.
because even in Puerto Rico, the rum is totally different from the one you have here in the States.
Yeah, we could do rum tasting. We could find something like that to do. What do you think?
That sounds good.
That sounds interesting.
Rum tasting. They do wine tasting. Why not rum
That's-
tasting? And I'm
yeah.
sure there is a lot of different savor in the rum that we.
Right.
Marcia, thank you so much for coming.
It was a pleasure. It was a nice thing to put on my
Marcia,
calendar.
it was
sharing
so
whatever.
great. Marcia, it was
moment that
great
life has to
that we
offer.
were chatting, and
Yeah.
we'll probably be seeing you
Definitely.
the next meeting. Yes.
And I love
definitely.
the name that she gave to our group, the Phoenix. It's like rising. You never stop.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that she named after Phoenix the Rising.
Yeah. When you think of the Phoenix, you see
It rises.
the
Yes.
evolution of something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's blossoming.
Yeah.
That was great to meet you.
Thank you. And it's a beautiful life.
Thank
Life is
you.
what you make it.
Thank
That's all
you.
I have to say.
I just love all this positivity in the room here. It's wonderful.
It's life. Darling.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
That's so great.
La vie est belle.
It's a pleasure to meet you and
Thank you.
that you are in our lives now.
Okay, that's
Thank
a
you.
beautiful thing.
Merci
We have a lot to
beaucoup.
look forward to. Yeah.
I'm taking French class, but I was so embarrassed to tell you anything in French.
Okay.
Anything? Merci beaucoup.
Pas de quoi. Ok,
Okay.
magnifique. Parfait.
Thank you.
Thank you.